Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Got another replay analysis for you guys today. I just want to start off the video to say hopefully it's not too bad, but I am I'm very ill right now, and I've found a spare hopefully 20 minutes where I actually feel okay. Um, I don't want to go too much into it, but it's not too good right now. But I wanted to still try and get out the content, and to be honest, I've been bored the past 3 days, literally just not moving from bed. So I want to do it for myself because I've been very bored. So I want to get on the game and hopefully just watch some Rocket League, watch some good Rocket League, or not so good Rocket League, and see if we can help this guy. But this guy says, "Hi Jack, I decided to post a replay that I'm not exactly proud of. Yes, we win the match, but I made a lot of mistakes and I'm just looking to improve. I'd rather give you a match like this than one I won 5-0 and scored three flip sets because I feel there's more to learn. Regardless, this is a GC3 2v2 game. Thanks." Alright, so GC3 2's game, we obviously know the guy won the match. That's not the point. You can still improve even from winning. Let's get into it, see what you can do. So GC3, that's pretty close to SSL. I mean, one rank off. Obviously it's close there, but starting off not too much, just to kick off. Kind of gave away possession, but couldn't really do too much in that position. Nice hit. I was questioning whether it's worth taking more time, because you went up to the ball quite quickly, but you got a very hard hit, almost the hardest you could probably get in that position. Get bumped there. I think you stick around in this play a bit too long here. That's the issue. You kind of linger as if you're looking to hit the ball next, and you need to realise that in this position, can you get up to this ball? If the ball bounces down, off the backboard like this, if it bounces here and just goes down, or like down and out slightly like here and lands here, then yes, you might be able to get it, but we've got to realise that it's not bouncing there. And it's going to go a little bit too far out and a little bit too high for us. So we can't get that. So we've got to leave early. We should be aiming to leave. So we've hit the ball there. We've hit the ball into an awkward position. We've done our job. Let our teammate push forward. Let our teammate take over. And you've given them a good chance to score. So now it's our chance to leave and get back and support our teammate in case he gets beat or in case he misses a shot and wants us to follow up on the touch. So you should be trying to leave here. Sorry, I'm out of it today. You should be trying to leave here and just flip in for this mid boost. You should know that mid boost is up, because it's just, it's enough time for it to be up. So you should know that. You should be going for that mid boost. We take a little bit too long, and because we take too long, we've not even left the play before our teammate gets beat to the ball. And now we also don't leave quickly enough. We should be boosting and flipping it to get back, because we've got to realise that once our opponent has taken our teammate out of the play and you're left in a 1v2 situation, the person that's just taken our teammate out is probably going to go and look for a bump. We should be, we should know this, especially at this rank. In these 1v2 situations, the person in front of the ball is always going to look for a bump, or most of the time anyway. So we want to be trying to avoid that, and the way we avoid that is by by making as much space between ourselves and the attacker. And we don't do that here. We kind of just almost give them a wide open bump, because when we flip, we're committing ourselves into one direction. We're basically showing everyone on the pitch where we're going to be landing, because once you flip, you can't change the direction that you're going to be landing, or the place you're going to be landing. You can't change that. Only slightly by boosting or air rolling. Doesn't matter. You're going to be landing on this boost pad, or maybe here. And because he knows that, he can just basically just aim for you. You can't get out of the way, so that's all he has to do, and now it's just an open net. So we've got to just make sure that we're, looking out for those bumps, or looking out for when our opponent could be going to bump us. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take drinks during this video, because like I said, I'm not feeling too good. Nothing wrong here so far. You're very fast to get up to balls, it's quite obvious, and you've clearly got good mechanics. You can just see that bump from the way someone touches the ball and gets these, hard hits. Very confident, very just, fast and ready to go for a ball whenever. And you're just hitting the ball with the corner of your car, every time. And even speed flipping around the pitch is a difficult thing to control. And it's actually like I'm watching myself a little bit, like, you know, a couple of years back or something, or maybe a few years ago. It's like, well, I'm only making a quick, you know, assumption based off this one play here, but you're quite quick, you're quite mechanical, you know, similar to what I was like. And sometimes, you know, these players, for some reason, we all struggled with, sometimes we cut our momentum off a bit before we jump for a ball. So in this position, you almost come to a standstill before you jump, and then that's why you just miss this ball. If you kept your speed here, you don't miss. And I don't know why, but we all do that. Like when we're these types of players, we all just, I did anyway, we all just cut our momentum off as soon as we were about to jump for a ball. Let's try and not do that. Nice block from your teammate. That should be an open net. Nice. Didn't have to do too much there. Good kickoff. Nice. Pretty good. I mean, you have more time than you think here, and getting that touch, you could get a better touch. So you wanna, if you wanna just flick this ball really high, which definitely is an option that you should be thinking about taking. You don't want to jump here because you're just slightly too, the ball is slightly too high. You know, you have a second before, or not second, but you know what I mean. It's, you know, you have a second before your opponent, Galax, can get to the ball and beat you. So you can let the ball drop slightly before taking a little bit of a shorter jump into the ball and giving yourself a bit of a better angle to flick the ball really high with a front flip or a diagonal flip. But because you have to jump here, you have to almost side flip. It's not exactly a side flip, but it's more a side flip than a diagonal flip, and you're never going to get the most height or power with a side flip over a diagonal flip in this position. So just take a little bit more time there. But again, not a terrible play. I mean, you land quickly and you force the, you know, the awkward touch at your opponent. So, you know, everything I said there, you know, what I said would have resulted in a better play, but it doesn't mean that your play wasn't, you know, was bad in any regards. Yes, we get the touch here, but it's not a good play. You know, we could, you know, you could give this play to a lower ranked player and they'll go, oh my god, what a beast. He's, you know, cut the angle off, you know, float in, and he's just completely destroyed them, dunked them. But you've landed with 43 boost and you have to drift to get back into a position. Technically, you've landed over here. So actually, no, we've screwed up completely. Let's say, for argument's sake, we land here because that is the play. You've tried to recover and it's not gone down well, you know. And if we're going to be really technical, you've landed here and you've landed with 0 boost. So you've gone from here was your takeoff with 100 boost to over here with 0 boost. You know, that's what we have to look at. Now, if we're being, you know, realistic, you know, you could have stopped doing your recovery when you landed here. So technically, like, realistically, you landed here with 43 boost. Sure, that's still bad. 57 boost minimum. If we're taking the first, you know, my first point into account, it's 100 boost deficit, but 57 boost you've lost here at the minimum, and you've not really gotten the ball too far. You've taken yourself out of the play, so you can't recover as quickly. You can't help your teammate out. You can't help your defense out. You've just not done a great block. Now, we don't have to pre-jump this ball. Sorry, let me go offline and Steam. I just need to respond to that message. One sec, sorry. What was I saying? You don't have to pre-jump this ball. You know, what are they going to do that is going to result in this pre-jump being good? You know, you've got a teammate behind you. Sorry, no, you don't. You've got a teammate coming behind you. He should be there in literally, you know, 1.5 seconds if he takes a good line. I mean, if he took the best line, he goes... Why is my camera... There we go. If he takes the best line, he just goes here, front post. He doesn't do that, whatever. You should have a teammate behind you. You know, the only play that they do is a flick here that you don't have to pre-jump, because if they flick it from here, go in top corner, which is where you're currently blocking, that's so much time for you to even drive up the backboard and grab a drink whilst you do it and still get the save. You know what I mean? You do not have to pre-jump here. There's just no world where you do it. You know, it's just giving them a chance to pass at mid. You know, if they get a better pass, a harder pass, you know, a bit more distance on the ball, or even, you know, just a bit more angle to this side, that's underneath you. You just give a free shot over to this side, pretty much an open net. So just don't pre-jump. Just basically drive and cover their mid pass, because that's the worst thing that they could do in your case. Careful on trying to recover too quickly. Like, one thing I'm noticing here is that we're trying to be extra speedy, and like flipping when flipping isn't going to help. Flipping here is good, and then we try and flip before our cars landed properly, and if our opponents were better, they would have scored that open net 5 seconds before they missed it. So I don't know what they did there, but that definitely should have been a goal. Good save though from you. Decent from your teammate. Nice pass. That should be a goal. Good effort. I mean, actually, it was a harder shot than I made it out to be at first. Nice. Great touch. See what you do here. Flip. Yeah, nice. Well done. It's a great shot. It's a really, really good shot. I would react more, but if I try to shout, I will die. So, you know, my voice will go. This is really good mechanics. A little bit too rushed, though. This is great. Great. Good touch. You just rushed us a little bit, and you know what? It happens. It's fine. But it is what we want to improve on. You know, we've got to take a little bit more time. We've got to realise that our opponent cannot get to us before we take a little bit more time, before we get a better angle on the ball, and then we can take off. You know, we don't have to rush it. We don't have to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You know, that's still a good touch. It's a decent touch. It'll force out a bad touch for your opponent and give your teammate a free touch. So, again, not a terrible play, but can be better. Great challenge. Simple as, don't need to say anymore. Nice. I'm just trying to like look at something here, like, hang on. Alright, I'm gonna keep that in mind, well, unless I forget it. And hopefully, like, if I see a few more examples, I'll point it out. But I've only seen those 2 examples, which I'm not sure. Just don't. We have no need to panic here. You know, like, you've got to ask yourself a couple of questions. I mean, both you and your team, I don't think you're queuing together. Oh, you are. You can tell this to your team as well. Like, why are you guys jumping right now? Like, I know that sometimes it's scary when a shot's coming on. You know, we're human. Our reaction time isn't, you know, amazing like all the time, and especially in high pressure situations. But 2 people are in net. You know, one of you has to make the decision that, yeah, I could pre-jump. And my teammate will stay on the ground. One of you has to stay on the ground. One of you can pre-jump. Sure, that's better than both you pre-jumping almost. And I class this as a pre-jump because you probably made the decision to jump right as he shoots it before he shot it. And I know it looks stupid in the replay. Like all of the, you know, champs, plats, diamonds watching this are going to be like, oh my god, why would they jump here? They had 20 seconds to react to this ball. I promise you, in the situation that these guys are in, it's very hard to notice, but it is something that you've got to start noticing if you want to be pushing into Supersonic Legend and further. This ball just isn't something to jump for. You know, you could even jump and land and still probably save us. Maybe not. You could probably jump and land and catch it almost. So just be careful with what you're jumping for on your goal line. Just because you're on your goal line and because your opponent has a free shot doesn't mean the shot's always going to be good. How is it easier to hit a bad shot or a good shot? You got to ask yourself that. It's always easier to hit a bad shot. I'm not saying think every shot's going to be bad, else you're just going to get scored on, but a lot of them will be. Again, we're just trying to be too quick. Actually, I mean, nah, don't ignore me there, because it's just like, you should be going for this wave dash really at this rank. Like, keep going for that. I mean, keep working on that. I'm sure you hit that 9 times out of 10. So yeah, ignore me. I don't know why I said we're trying to go too quick, because we're not. Go for mid, turn back, well done. Yeah, just watch your momentum. We just seem to like cut our momentum off when we're about to try and go for a ball. You know, I used to struggle with this loads, so I get it. Work on our wave dashes, because we would have saved that ball, and I've seen you like mess up about 3 times now with wave dashes. Okay, one more of this like thing, and I'll point it out with what I was talking about earlier, because that's the 3rd time now. I'll point it out anyway, but I want to see if it happens again, because I bet it does. That's why I'm not saying that, just for my own sake. It's like a little game. Nice, I like this. Nice. That's great. You know, if I'm I'm playing devil's advocate, if I'm going to be really pedantic about the situation, the only thing you did wrong was that you didn't check back. So you could be in comms with your teammate, and if you're in comms with your teammate and he told you that you got it past the first guy and that you should be going for a bump, yeah, then don't even listen to what I'm about to say. But if you're not in comms with him, you should always be just doing a quick check back, like literally for half a second, to make sure that your teammate hasn't been dunked and he actually is going for this 1v1. And then you can continue going for the bump. But still, let's be honest, it was a good play. Even I don't even check back half the time, because sometimes you just know that your teammate got it past your opponent. It's just, technically, it's the best play to do that. Terrible kickoff from your teammate there. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, nice. It's good. Not so good. You don't have to flip for this ball. Realise, right, you have to realise that you're probably going to tell me, if you're in a call with me right now, you'd probably tell me, Jack, I need to flip for this ball in case that the opponent's there and he's about to shoot. Now, you have to realise that this ball... Right. If you... I went slightly too... Give me a second. I'll do that again. Okay, if you don't flip here, if all you do right now is carry on just boost, if you just carry on boosting from now, and you don't flip, and the opponent, if the opponent was here, right, he was about to come in for a shot, you'd still get the block without flipping. So if your argument is that you have to flip in case he's about to shoot, you would still get the block. The only thing you're doing from flipping is, if he is far away from the ball, which he is, you're giving him the chance to take the shot as soon as you get a little bit of a clear on this ball, because it's given distance between the ball and your car, and it's put your car in a position where it can no longer get a block on the ball if he takes a shot. The only way that, you know, that doesn't happen is if you get a better dodge through the ball. Now, your dodge is a little bit too sideways. Look at that, it's a side flip. Or not, it's not exactly a side flip, but it's pretty much a side flip. Now, that's putting too much distance between the car, the ball, and your goal, and it's, you know, in simple terms, it's giving an open net. Luckily he doesn't hit it. It is a, you know, it's not exactly open, he still has to slot it, but it's basically open. What you want to do here is you want to not flip until you realise that the opponent actually isn't there, and then wave dash with the ball and cut it into midfield. And that's a hard thing to do, but you're higher rank and you can learn it, and you're quite mechanical, so I'm sure you would want to learn it. So take your time. Wave dash, you know, when you're about to land, and carry on with the ball with that. Great half flip there. Not so good first touch. Go to the ceiling here. So in this position, you want to realise, right, in this position where the ball is so close to touching the ceiling but it isn't touching the ceiling, you have 2 options. You want to get underneath the ball, so you can wait for the ball to get a little bit lower from the ceiling and then boost into it so it hits it, or back into almost the ceiling. Basically, you don't want to hit the ball right away when it's close to the ceiling, because it will just hit the ceiling and that's going to be hard to control. Or you want to get onto the ceiling and get over the ball, and now you give yourself a ceiling shot, you know. So one of those 2 things, you don't want to hit right as it bounces off the ceiling whilst you have whilst you're hitting it with downward momentum, which you're going to hit the ball into the ground. Nice boost still. Good recovery. Yeah, nice. This is good. Again, you don't use your momentum. Look, every time we take off for a ball, or almost every time, we cut all of our momentum off and we come to a standstill and then we jump. We're just using more boost because it's making us use more boost when we do that. And we're not getting as hard of a hit on the ball as we could. So work on that. Nice. Good shot. Yeah, well done. That was good control. Good kickoff there. Pretty good shot. Shots don't always have to be perfect. They just have to force out of, you know, a bad touch, or not a bad touch, but just a touch where we can maintain possession in the end, although it's not too dangerous. Just because we don't score or we give possession away doesn't always mean it's bad. Ooh, unlucky. You know what? I'm gonna make a very, very like almost baseless assumption because I've not seen it too much in this replay. I've only seen one of the two factors which I'm about to say, right? So sometimes players, because I mean I'll say players, I've not seen anyone else do it so far in the replays that I've covered, because not everyone's too high of a rank. But when I was like getting high ranked and getting to your rank kind of thing, I had the same issue where I just couldn't deal with going for balls with high momentum. Sometimes I would miss balls like this, whereas I'd normally hit them if I just cut my momentum off. It's just something you got to work on. Sometimes you have to realize that when you're supersonic and you jump, you have to tilt your car back really quickly to get that get up to the ball that quickly, because you're already moving at half speed. I don't know if I've explained that right, but you just got to realize that because you're moving quickly, you're going to go underneath the ball a lot quicker. You know, you're going to go past the ball a lot quicker, so you have to get up quicker. I know it might either sound two things to you. Doesn't make sense at all, or it's like, Jack, obviously that's the most, you know, brain dead thing you've ever said. It's obvious that's the thing, but it's just very easy to forget. When we're going fast, we have to either get to the ball early, jump earlier because we're going to realise that we're going fast, or make sure here we have to tilt back so far to get up to this ball before we go past it, and we just don't do it. And that's what I used to struggle with, but it's fine because we have fast recoveries. Good effort. It's tough to deal with that. I mean, I don't think he did that bad. Here I'd love for us to realise here that a shot is not going to go in, because our opponent should be coming in for a 50 and he does. So we should be faking this, or making sure we get a really good block on the ball. That's not really your fault. Yeah, like part of it was your fault, but I'd say it's more your teammate's bad touch. Everything's fine so far. Yeah. Overtime. Alright. Not the greatest kickoff. We really want to get a solid kickoff in overtime. Now, if that means trying not to win the ball, just make sure you just get a solid block through the ball. Push your car through the ball. If that means doing a different kickoff, a safe kickoff, whatever, just, you know, just let's not concede off a kickoff goal in overtime. And if our teammate didn't do a soft cheat here, look how soft his cheat is. Like, when I mean soft, he doesn't push up close to the ball. Neither does. Now, if Galax on the other team, if he committed a little bit further, he just wins this. It just goes over your teammate probably. So be careful there. Just a small thing, really. It's not too drastic. Okay, right here, you've got to realise, right, that you've got to look at quickly where your opponents are. Your opponent, one is going for your boost, which means he can't go for the ball for a good, 2-3 seconds. You can't even see your other opponent. You should know that he's up mid boost right now. that means that no one can go for this ball. If you just let it bounce off the wall, there is nobody's going to be there for a shot. So you've also got to think about the other thing. If you hit this ball, who's going to get the next touch? It's just your opponent. You're just giving the free ball away. So don't hit this here, because the third factor is that you're on 0 boost. Now that's just terrible, because you're not going to be able to recover if you does get a quick turnaround and shot on target. So just let the ball bounce off the wall. Don't use any boost until you're about to touch the ball, and just go down the wall and flick it high, or take control, whatever you want to do. Good block from your teammate, good positioning from you, nice hit there. That's a fine place to hit a ball, because you're about to, yeah, that's a great play. Nothing, you know, that was perfect really. That's fine. Careful with that. Fairly self-explanatory really. Take your time more. I mean, we've got to understand that, like, these are the positions that we need to understand, again, like the other position I talked about on this similar, you know, on the same wall as this one. No one can take a shot real quick, so just relax, slow down, and realise that there's no real pressure. Sometimes we panic when the ball is near our goal, even though it can't go in for another 3 seconds. This is all good. We're just holding a solid position. Please don't go in. Oh my god, I thought that was the end. Is that the end? What a terrible ending. Good positioning from you though. I mean, yeah, it's a terrible ending, but like sometimes, you know, it's easy to look at what the goal is and not what the thing is before. Like, you don't have to pressure the ball all the time. Sometimes it's okay to let your opponents have the ball. Now, I don't want to call anyone out, but, you know, I know that a lot of people watching these videos may like Flakes. You know, you would have heard of Flakes, his philosophy of Rocket League. I like the guy. I don't agree with this philosophy, and I'll just say that here because I know a lot of people will aspire to play like him now. You know, people who think like that think that when your opponents have the ball, it's a terrible thing. We should aim to never give the ball away. This is not true. I promise you. Please do not think this. Now, I stress this enough that this is not an attack at Flakes, and it does not mean that it's not the right way of thinking. I mean, I very rarely say that, like, I very rarely say that what I am saying is 100% factual, but I promise you this is 100% factual. His way of thinking is wrong. Your opponents can have the ball sometimes, and that means it's a good thing for you. Watch BDS play. Sometimes they will put the ball into a position where their opponents have the ball, and it will not turn out good for the opponents because they cannot physically do anything with that play. And now I could have just gone what Flakes means wrong sometimes, but sometimes he just thinks that the opponent having the ball is not a good thing, and I don't like that way of teaching because it builds habits in players that listen to him to attack the ball or to try and keep the ball always, and I just don't think it's good. So here we're just holding a good position and waiting for them to give us the ball, and this is completely fine, and this is what high level teams do. The opponents panic, and we just got the open net. So this is great. What I was going to bring up, the point I was going to bring up earlier, I didn't see you do it again. I think after the third time, I had a habit where I would never double jump for a ball for some reason. You know, or not never unless I had to. You know, if I had to go up to a ball that was really high, I'd double jump, of course. But for most balls, I would single jump and flip. It seems that you have the opposite habit where on balls that you should be single jumping and flipping into to get more power, to get a better recovery, to get, you know, faster momentum, sorry, you still double jump. Now you got to just work on a balance. You want to find when is right to double jump into a ball and get up to it quickly and get a good touch, or when is right to single jump and flip into a ball. Now that's just a very short thing I'll say, and I'll leave it at that because it's very difficult to explain when you should be doing it. You've got to work out for yourself and experiment because that's what this game is. But hopefully it's just a thing that you didn't quite think about before. I'll give a couple of things. You know, when you want to flip and jump and flip into a ball, it's in places where you want to get a bit more power. You have a bit more time to do it. You want to keep high momentum to go for the ball again, or you just want to get a good recovery onto a wall. Let's say you're close to a wall and let's say you're close to the right wall, you should be jumping and flipping into the ball with a right dodge, so you an arrow slightly through it, like flip cancel, so you land on the ball to get a faster recovery. Now that's very high level stuff, but you're a high level player, so I want to tell you that. So those are the kind of situations you want to be thinking about. But most of it is just trying to work it out by yourself and figure out things. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get beaten to balls that you should have double jumped for, and instead you try and single jump flipping into a ball, and then you'll realise not to do it again in that position, and that's okay. But hope you learned from some stuff from this replay. Sorry that my excuse me. Sorry that my voice is a bit weird, and that I perhaps weren't given as great advice as I would, because I'm not in 100% right mind. But anything that I didn't cover or anything that I covered poorly, please just message me about, and I'm sure I'll be happy to respond and help as much as I can. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care.